Welcome to a special edition of Crushing Kayfabe, a WrestleMania edition of Crushing Kayfabe. Last night was the first night of WrestleMania, Saturday night, and got a ton to talk about, so we're going to try to break this up into two parts. Tonight will be part one, then Monday I'll do part two. If I look and sound like I'm absolutely exhausted, it is because I am. Had to be up at 4 o'clock this morning for work. Let's see. Before we get too much into WWE stuff, we had, like I say, a good promo from Adam Copeland / Edge on Dynamite. Unfortunately, it's a little too little, too late. I mean, that was the only good part of the show, unfortunately. But yeah, let's move past that. You know, so like I said, so much happening. I mean, we had the CM Punk interview, great interview. Kind of confirmed a lot of things that we already knew. At least some of us had already assumed, you know, or had heard. It's refreshing though to have all that stuff kind of confirmed and know that you're not going crazy. You know, that stuff did actually happen the way it did. Really interesting interview, and Punk came off very measured, very level-headed, very I guess laid back, very mature, much more so than in previous instances. He didn't go off the handle. He didn't. He wasn't angry. He wasn't, you know, pointing the finger at a lot of people. But unfortunately, there was some things he couldn't discuss because of an NDA. But specifically the brawl-related stuff, but he did, you know, clarify a few things that happened, especially involving the Jungle Boy incident, you know, Jack Perry incident, and what actually went down there. And it's very different from the narrative that was kind of sold to us, and also the Hangman incident, which I pretty much already knew because watching it live, you could tell what was happening. You know, and you could look on CM Punk's face, and he had a befuddled look, kind of confused look of what are you doing, you know. So like I said, it just kind of reaffirms what I pretty much already knew, and we talked about on the show previously. But other than that, great interview, and you know, Missionary from Wrestling Soup kind of nailed it when they said that his Ariel was going to handle the interview, which you know, there was a lot of speculation to who was going to do the interview, and you know, a lot of names were thrown around. Cornette would have been interesting. I think that would have been interesting. I'm glad he didn't choose Cornette, but that would have been incredibly interesting. So Punk ended up going to the MMA hour, you know, with Ariel Helwani, and not shocking or surprising there, especially considering you know, WWE's now affiliation with the UFC, and as we found out during the interview, they had previously been friendly. They had previously been friends, so not totally out of place. But he asked some really probing questions, some good questions, without getting too awkward or infringing too much. Which was excellent. It was a good interview. I have yet to see a Cody Rhodes interview. I want to see that. That's going to be very interesting. Like I said, a whole lot happening. The only thing I want to ask before we get too much into the WrestleMania stuff is on SmackDown, there was a botch there with Tozawa and Otis where it looked like they over Bronson Reed and oh wow, it's like I said, lack of sleep, unfortunately. It was Ivar overthrew Tozawa over the top of Otis's head. He was unable to catch him. It looked really bad. Does anybody have an update on that? I would love to hear, make sure those guys are okay, because it did not look pleasant at all. Now, I got to see some of the Hall of Fame, approximately half of it. Roman Reigns didn't do too horrible of an introduction on Paul Heyman. Great speech. Kind of an odd choice to start the night off with Paul Heyman, because once his speech was over, it kind of didn't go downhill, but I want to say the crowd was pretty deflated after that. I mean, it was a huge emotional moment for a lot of people, and everything after that just kind of seemed to be what's the word I'm looking for? Seemed to be, I don't want to say not up to par, but it seemed to deflate the crowd quite a bit, just because he was so energetic and so he's Paul Heyman. So great interview, not great interview, great speech, I say, and Paul Heyman gave a lot of props out to Triple H, which was kind of surprising for me. I didn't know they were now on that good of terms, and then he even gave some serious props out to Stephanie, saying that he hoped his daughter would be half the woman that she was, and that was kind of surprising, because I know they've had friction between them in the past, and it's good to see that they've ironed that out. I don't know what the heck's going on in the room next door, but if you hear banging, it's not me. Let's see. Unfortunately, Peacock kind of edited the swear words out, which was, I knew what they were saying, but it was kind of weird. Once again, great speech from Heyman. And then when you had, Medusa come on, it was kind of, she was very subdued and almost, I don't want to say, not monotone, because you could tell she genuinely felt the things she was saying, but it really, once you had that tremendous high from Heyman, man, and Heyman breaking out even the old props from ECW, how awesome was that? How great was that? I could have done without a lot of the vulgarity, but this was ECW, it was Paul Heyman, so you kind of have to expect that, and he gave some props out to Bully Ray and whatnot. But like I was saying, getting back to Bull Nakano, she looked amazing. So this is one of the things I like about the Hall of Fame is not only do I get to kind of honor and view and listen to some great memories from the past, and and some great insight, and some real emotional stories that come out of it, but I get to learn a lot too, which is one of the reasons why I love the Hall of Fame. Years past, the Hall of Fame kind of dragged on and on, was kind of boring at times, but in recent years that's changed tremendously. Like I said, once again, I don't know why the choice was made for him to go on early. I don't know if Ben, he's an older dude, maybe needs to sleep. I don't know, but onto Bull Nakano. Like I say, she looked great. Very softly spoken, very respectful person. Actually gave pretty good speech, but it just kind of fell on a lot of flat ears. It sounded like they had to jack her microphone volume up way up to the point where it was feeding back. That's how softly spoken she was. And like I was saying previously, before I suddenly changed direction, train of thought here, I was not aware of how significant she was in the history of women's wrestling. I've probably seen a couple of her matches in WCW or whatnot, in years past. This was around the time where I was a lot younger, and I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to women's wrestling, unfortunately, I think. So, that's something on my AJ Styles, that thread on my AJ Styles shirt. I don't like that. But I didn't realize how much of a tremendous impact and trailblazer she was. So getting to watch that really was an eye-opening experience. And and like I said, I like to learn from these things. I love the fact that I can learn from these. This is not coming off. Oh, it's a thread. That's why. Not good. I'll have to cut that off. But yeah, that was interesting and informative, and I'd like to go back and find out more about her. Let's see, who do we have after that? I think it was like I said, I only watched half of this, unfortunately, and some of it I actually listened to while in the car. But Muhammad Ali was really well done. And Undertaker, a big boxing fan, did an interesting introduction. A lot of people thought it was kind of an odd choice, but apparently he is a huge boxing fan. Ali's wife, his widow, tremendously well spoken, delivered a great speech, passionate, just really great speech. Really well done. Then presented the People's Champion belt and kind of explained the meaning behind it, with Ali being People's Champ, and then The Rock taking that moniker because he respected him so much, and then they presented him with a People's Championship belt, which he later brought to the ring at WrestleMania. But yeah, I've started watching the next induction. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten all the way through that, so I'll probably comment about that on the next show, maybe. But next we move on, obviously, to WrestleMania. Why they chose to have Rhea and Becky open up, I'm not sure, and I think they just wanted to start things off with a bang. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was a really good match. Apparently Becky has strep and like 100 and some odd fever, which was crazy because you wouldn't know. She did perform well. Much to the chagrin of my wife, who is a huge Becky Lynch fan, Rhea did win, and I'm happy to see her retain it. I really do think that Rhea is the future of women's wrestling and future Hall of Famer. If she continues at this pace, she's been excellent. Very good. Really good match. And I give a lot of props out to Becky for competing with strep. I've had strep twice this year previously, and it was combined with, the first time it was combined with COVID. The second time it was combined with the flu. Or I might be mixing those two up. Either way, both times were nightmares, just ridiculously horrible, and for her to go out and compete like that was excellent. Well, I guess we had the ladder match. Excuse me. She's up next, and I guess they're not breaking Waller and Theory apart because they are the new SmackDown champs. So some crazy spots. You expect that out of anything involving ladders. At one point there was one point one of the ladders was broken. The referee tried to grab Damian Priest and couldn't get his attention, or ignored her, and ended up as kind of a botch with him and the Miz. But like I say, some crazy spots in this, and I'm not gonna have anywhere near a time that some of this deserves, but I'll try to do the best I can in the format I can. And I should be doing a part 2 tomorrow. So this is part 1 of WrestleMania. We'll try to cover Sunday night tomorrow after I see it, obviously, because it's being recorded at 4:08 Central Time right now. And really cool moment with Awesome Truth winning the tag championship for Raw. I'm real happy for R-Truth. I'm real happy for Ron Killings. That man deserves so much respect. He is so entertaining, and regardless of what role he's been put into, regardless of what wrestling company he's been in. He's always been an excellent performer and just highly entertaining. I mean, yeah. What do we have next? The Usos match. This was a little bit of a letdown. And I'm probably missing actually in my notes, I think I'm missing the Rey Mysterio and yeah, I don't have anything about that match at all in here. Wow, I completely blanked on that match. That's crazy. But yeah, we'll move on to the Usos match. But for a minute there, I thought I was watching the Young Bucks match for all the super kicks that were getting thrown in that match. Jeez. The one part I really did like about this match was when Jimmy Uso was begging his brother for mercy and whatnot. That was that I did enjoy. I thought that was well done. But aside from that, the pacing and everything of this match was a little off, unfortunately, which is horrible because I thought these guys would have great chemistry together and they didn't. And it's kind of weird. Anytime you have a blood feud type thing like this, do you go with a technical match or do you just turn it into a brawl? And I felt like it didn't know what it wanted to do. Yeah, so a little bit off with this match. Let's see, like I said, and like I was saying before, the Ray and his team ended up winning against Dominic's, but I was hoping for some big entrances with those guys because, like last year, Dominic had this great entrance, and so did Ray, and that's one of the things that was kind of lacking so far. I mean, I loved Rhea Ripley's entrance; that was phenomenal. Anytime they can bring a band out to play their theme song or entrance music, I absolutely love that. I think that's the greatest thing ever. But they didn't really have too many great ones up until like Damage Control versus Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. Great intro, great opening for that. I really enjoyed both of their entrances. Jade Cargill looks amazing. And they really made her look like a beast in this. She looked very strong in this match. So, who would have thought at this point Jade Cargill would be in a match at WrestleMania this year? If you told me that last year, I would have told you you're insane. But she looked good. She looked impressive in her debut, and that team up ended up winning against Damage Control, which was a fun moment, and it was a good feel-good moment. Let's see, next up I think we had the Sami Zayn versus Gunther match for the Intercontinental Championship. I love the vignettes that Sami Zayn and Chad Gable did leading into this, and they reiterated them again previous to this match. I thought they were great. I really did. And I was thinking there might be some kind of Rocky connection with this, because, man, you look at this, it screams Rocky. It screams Rocky 4. It really does, with Gunther being Drago or Draco, whatever. Drago. Good match. This one of my favorite, if not my favorite match, between them. And Sammy just knows how to tug at the heartstrings. He knows how to emote to the common person, relate. He just looks like any dude that could have walked off the street and decided to start wrestling. I mean, despite the fact that he is an excellent wrestler, but he ends Gunther's streak and ends up getting ends up winning the Intercontinental Championship. But man, great job from Sami Zayn knowing how to emote and affect people really well. I mean, it's really cool. Obviously next up we had the main event. you know, Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. First off, I'd like to say they didn't change too much from Cody Rhodes' entrance. A little bit of an outfit change, but not anything too crazy. Thing that kept going through my mind with Seth Rollins, what the heck is he wearing? It just looks so bad, looks so stupid. I get it, you're trying to make a grand entrance for WrestleMania, but it really just ended up making him look like a fool. Incredible entrance from The Rock. Holy cow, with the fire, the Brahma bullhead on fire and everything. Just great entrance from The Rock. Incredible. Not as much ring action for The Rock. It was mostly a lot of brawling on his part. Roman carried kind of the bulk of it, and that makes sense because at Rock's age, I can see why they would choose to do that. That's an intelligent thing to do. And Bloodline ended up winning, so it looks like we're gonna have Bloodline rules tonight. So good match, real good match. Obviously, Rock knows how to tell a story, and so does Seth and Cody. Roman not so much. He kind of did his standard fare, but entertaining nonetheless. The brawling was outside the ring was good. Everything going inside the ring was pretty good. Good match, entertaining. Is that and the Sami Zayn match were probably my two favorites of the night. Really, like I said, really entertaining. And at this point of the night, seeing as how I had to be up at 4 a.m. this morning, it kept me awake, which probably says a lot, because God only knows how I'm going to stay up tonight. But Bloodline rules tonight, and they're, I don't know if it's legit or kayfabe, but they're teasing an injury from Seth Rollins that what kept him from coming back to the ring to help out Cody at one point, which led to the Bloodline beating Cody. At one point, Rock basically told the ref, "I'm your boss. Do not count. Do not call anything," kind of thing. So, kind of already watched what Bloodline rules is going to be like. I'm hoping that they bring back some big names to keep The Rock and the rest of the Bloodline from interfering. Because if it's Bloodline rules, that means there's no disqualification and whatnot. I'm assuming that goes on both sides. So I'm feeling like Cody's going to have to call in some reinforcements. I would love to see MJF come to WWE. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if he's still under contract from AEW. I know that he was removed from the AEW website, but that doesn't necessarily mean a darn thing. So, but I would love to see him. I would love to see Dustin show up. They're teasing supposedly the trailers that had Cena and I think Stone Cold's face on it was supposedly a foreshadowing that they were going to make an appearance tonight. We'll see. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time, so I got to wrap this up. But let me just say thank you everyone for listening. Check out Then and Now Flea Market in downtown Trenton. If you're in the West Trenton, Tennessee, I should say if you're in Western Tennessee, check them out. I don't know if phone's giving me a newsletter. Let's see. So yeah, check them out. Check us out on crushingkayfabe.com, crushing with a K. And check us out on Patreon. $1 a month. That's all. And believe it or not, it helps me out tremendously. So check us out on Patreon. Do search for Crushing Kayfabe. Excuse me. And check us out there. And all YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place. So check us out there. Thank you for tuning in. Overall, a little bit of a letdown for first night of WrestleMania, but I have a funny feeling that things are gonna pick up big time tonight. So everybody tune in and let me know how you think. Let me know how you feel, and thank you for listening. God bless.